Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions, also known as the older smart lady. I'll tell you more about that later. The purpose of this video message is to help you identify unqualified nonprofit professionals. In other words, I want to share with you 5 questions to ask nonprofit consultants who claim that they can complete the Form 1023 application for you to help you earn 501c3 nonprofit status. Let me give you a little bit of background about why I'm doing this video. I secret shop nonprofit consultants to make sure I have a clear understanding of what my competitors are promising to customers. It's just good business sense to know what your competitors are doing and what they are promising. And I have learned the best way to do that is to pretend that I am someone who is looking for a consultant to help me earn 501c3 nonprofit status. So I schedule phone consultations or Zoom sessions with certain nonprofit consultants just to listen to them explain to me the services that they provide and how they can help me earn 501c3 nonprofit status. And I'm listening to hear them ask certain questions that I believe are important questions to ask if you are a bona fide, experienced person skilled in completing the Form 1023 to help people earn 501c3 nonprofit status. So I want to help you expose nonprofit consultants who may not be ready to offer you the level of services that you need. I have 5 questions that I'm going to share with you, and then I'm going to come back and share the answers that you should expect from a person claiming to be a nonprofit consultant. So you ready? Okay. The first question that they should be able to answer is, what type of application is best for me? What type of application is best for me? And leave it there. Don't try to help them. Don't try to guide them or give them some clues to what the answer should be. Leave it there. Number 2, what process do you use to apply for nonprofit status? What process do you use to apply for nonprofit status? The third question, do you respond to IRS requests for additional information after you've submitted an application if needed? Again, number 3, do you respond to IRS requests for additional information on behalf of your clients after you've submitted the application? Number 4, what is your application approval rating? And number 5, what are your thoughts regarding niche focused nonprofits? Okay, those are 5 questions that you should ask a consultant that you're talking to about possibly hiring them to complete the Form 1023 application to help you earn 501c3 nonprofit status. There are a total of 10 questions that I can share with you. And if you want to list the full list, these 5 plus the other 5 for the 10 questions and answers that you should get from a bona fide professional nonprofit consultant, click the link that I pinned in the comments and just download the information. All you have to do is click on the link, put in your email, and I will automatically send you the 10 questions you need to ask to expose the qualifications of nonprofit consultants. Since 2010, I've completed the 501c3 application packet for clients across the United States. My approval rating is 100%, and I've helped over 400 people in 33 different states. I would love to have the opportunity to talk with you about what you want to offer through a 501c3 nonprofit organization. There is a link in the description that you can reserve a free consultation with me until August the 15th, 2025. My consultations are normally $25 per hour, but I am offering complimentary free consultations to celebrate the 22 years that I have been in business as a nonprofit consultant. Each year, I want, during the month of August, which is my anniversary month, I want to do something special for people to demonstrate my appreciation for being able to do the kind of work that I love. And so the free complimentary consultations are available until August the 15th. So if you want to start a nonprofit organization, then I invite you to reserve a consultation. Now, let's go to the answers to those 5 questions. I'm going to read the question again, and then I'm going to give you the answer that you should receive from a bona fide nonprofit consultant. Number one, what type of application is best for me? So you're asking, tell me, based on what I've shared with you, which type of Form 1023 application is best for me. There are 2 types. You have the Form 1023 standard, which is the long version, and you have the Form 1023 EZ. Now, based on your consultation and what you've already shared with the potential consultant, they should be able to easily answer this question. Personally, I only use the Form 1023 long version because it allows you to put in writing everything you want to offer through a nonprofit organization. The long version requires 5, what the IRS calls supplemental responses, but they are attachments that you have to include to spell out exactly how you're going to operate your nonprofit organization. The Form 1023 EZ does not require you to provide that documentation. It only requires that you attest to the fact that you have completed that documentation. And I guarantee you, probably 95% of the people who use the Form 1023 EZ have not completed the documentation. So they are telling the IRS they've done it, but they really have not. And the reason being, the Form 1023 long version is $600 to process. The EZ is $275, and people get hung up on the $275 without realizing the magnitude of not providing written documentation of what you want to do through a nonprofit organization. Another reason that I don't use the 1023 EZ is because it limits the amount of revenues you can generate to $50,000 for the first 3 years of operation. And I don't believe that you should put boundaries on the amount of money you can generate through a nonprofit. And the long version does not put boundaries or limitations on the amount of money you can generate. So the first question is, what type of application is best for me? They should answer the Form 1023 long version or the Form 1023 standard version. Number 2, what process do you use to apply for nonprofit status? Here you're asking them to explain the process that they use to get you 501c3 status. What's the methodology? They should have a strategy. They should have a strategy that they can easily explain to you in a sequential order so that you can understand from A to Z what you should expect the process to look like in terms of them helping you get your 501c3 status. Now, for me, my process is, number 1, start with the phone consultation. A traditional phone consultation, not a Zoom, not a Teams, a phone call where you reserve a date and time, and I call you on your phone from my phone, and we talk on the phone. Okay, it's nothing fancy. But the purpose of this consultation, 1-hour consultation, is for me to be quiet and listen to you explain to me why you want to offer a nonprofit organization. That's step 1 in my process. So during that consultation, I'm writing notes, and I'm going to circle back after you've finished sharing with me. I circle back and say, okay, this is what I understand. And I summarize what you've shared. And the reason that I do that is because I'm determining whether or not your vision meets IRS requirements. Because there's no need for you to complete an application if your vision doesn't meet the requirements the IRS stipulates for anybody to apply for 501c3 status. So I share with you on whether or not your vision meets the requirements. And if they don't, then I don't take your money. That's wrong. But if they do, then we go on to talk about, okay, I have a contractual agreement that spells out everything that I provide for my clients in the contract. And then I have payment plan options you can choose from to process your payment. My fee is $1,500 to complete an application packet for clients from start to finish. I provide like a concierge service for you. I do everything for you from start to finish. We collaborate. I send you the documents for you to review one at a time, and you give me feedback. I provide 3 drafts of those documents, each document if needed. So if you look at the bylaws, you say, I don't know if it reflects exactly what I want to do. I say, how can I change it? And I change it until you are happy with it. 3 drafts. And that's for all of the other documents as well. There are 5 documents that go along with the standard grant, the standard Form 1023 application. That's how I work. I offer payment plans, like I said. You could choose a two-month payment plan, divide your payments into 3, divide your payments into 4, divide your payments into 5. And guess what? Until August the 15th, I'm offering a 10-month payment plan where you can pay me $150 per month automatically out of your bank account for 10 months. What does that mean for me? That means I'm trusting you to pay me even after you've gotten your status a long time ago. It only takes about, right now, the IRS is processing applications within 3 to 4 months. So you will have your 501c3 status before you have finished paying me on a 10-month payment plan. I'm only offering that option until August the 15th, again, in celebration of my anniversary. But that's a major trust factor, isn't it? For me to trust you or anyone to pay me after you've gotten what you wanted out of the deal. After you have signed the contract and processed the first payment, or if you don't want to do the whole $1,500, after you've processed one payment, whatever it is, then I get started. I start your application packet. I send you a timeline to let you know when you can expect to receive each document from me for your review and feedback. And then I also have in a timeline a 2-day turnaround date when I would expect to get your feedback on each document. I ask for 30 business days to complete an application packet. You see how my process is being spelled out very clearly? You know what to expect from me. Now, once you are happy with all of the documents, I would then coach you through the steps to creating an online account, pay.gov account, so that we can upload your application to the IRS platform to receive Form 1023 applications. You will process your payment, not me. I will give you the steps to process your payment to send the money to the IRS so that they can start the process of reviewing your application. So the second question, what process do you use to apply for nonprofit status? Look how I explained my process. That's how they should explain their process. If their process is anywhere near saying that we take care of everything for you, you don't have to worry about it, we submit everything for you, that's a red flag, because they have, in order to do that, in order to not get your feedback or your input, they have to have you sign a power of attorney for your nonprofit organization. Not sign for it, but they will click on that in the application that you have agreed to it. Whether or not they are forthcoming with that is another question. But you have to let the IRS know that I have given this individual power of attorney to communicate with you about my application without my knowledge. And I don't recommend that at all. Also, if they try to persuade you to use the 1023 EZ application, ask them why. What's the benefits of me using that versus the long version? Question number 3, do you respond to IRS requests for additional information if needed? Sometimes the IRS, especially lately, sometimes the IRS will send clients or my clients a first letter follow-up request. Or I'm sorry, a first request follow-up letter, a first request follow-up letter. And that letter will have a list of questions that the IRS exemption specialist assigned to process your application will have about your application. It could be so many different types of questions. I always write the response for my clients. I don't expect him to answer those questions because I help them with the application. I have been more deeply involved in writing the application than they did. So I will follow up. In other words, I am with my clients until they get their determination letter, which is the approval letter from the IRS. Once I submit the application for you, I don't just say, okay, see you later, good luck. No, we wait. We wait together. And if you get a first request follow-up letter from the IRS, my clients will send that letter to me, scan it to me, take a picture of it, email it, whatever, and I will write the response, send it back to the client to send to the IRS. And their IRS offers about 4 different ways that you can send it back to them. But I don't just leave you hanging and say you do it yourself. I don't do that. So the answer to question number 3 should be yes. Do you respond to IRS requests for additional information if needed? It should be yes, because if they say no, once we finish with the application, that's all we do. That's a problem. That's a problem. Question number 4, what is your application approval rating? So that should be something top of mind. How many applications have you completed and how many have been approved? Now it's up to you to determine how valid that is. I mean, if they completed 2 applications and they both were approved, is that luck? Right? I've completed over 400 and all of them have been approved. And I have receipts to prove that to you. I can show you very easily. All I have to do is give you or share with you the EIN of my clients and show you how you can go to irs.gov to validate that they've been approved, because the IRS, this is public information. The IRS shows EINs that have been approved. All you have to do is look it up. And if you want to talk to someone that I've worked with, I can ask you, okay, which state do you live in? And if you live in one of the states in which I've already helped somebody out of 33 different states, I can send you their information with their permission so you can talk to them about my record and how I work with them. So the question is, what is your application approval rating? You want it to be 100%, because let me tell you something. Your application must be terrible to be flat out refused by the IRS or flat out declined. The IRS will reach out to you and ask you for clarification over and over and over again, giving you a chance to get approval. So if the IRS comes back and said this application failed the test, that's a bad application. That's a terrible application. Okay. Number 5, what are your thoughts regarding niche focused applications? What are your thoughts? This is what you're asking the potential nonprofit consultant that you may hire. What are your thoughts regarding niche focused applications? Let me make sure this, I have to make sure this microphone is on, because you will not hear a word I'm saying if it's off. Let's talk about niche first. What is a niche? Some people call it a niche. A niche is a targeted group of people that have similarities, and I'm paraphrasing, like a group of men between the ages of 25 and 40 years old that live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and play golf together, So you want to ask them, how do they feel about niche focused applications? Let me tell you what the answer should be. The answer should be, I strongly recommend or require your application to be niche focused. And I'll tell you why that should be their answer. I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing a trend from the IRS that in those letters I was telling you about, the first request follow-up letter, they're asking questions. The representatives are asking questions like, who are you serving? Describe your target group more clearly. What services are you specifically providing for this target group and why? So what I'm doing now is I'm being proactive, because the last thing I want my clients to get is a letter saying we need more information. So I'm being proactive and I'm doing the niche focused applications now. So for example, if I have a client that says I want to offer after school programs for youth, that used to be enough. But now I will go back and say, describe the students who will participate in the after school programs. What type of services are you providing for them? So I would niche it down with my client. So they may say, well, I want to offer a remedial reading program after school for 3rd graders who are struggling to pass the reading test. You see how much more clear that is than I'm going to offer an after school program for youth? No, I'm going to offer an after school remedial reading program for 3rd graders who are struggling to pass reading tests. Now, the IRS says, I can see that. I can clearly see who you are serving. And that's what they want, so that they can approve your application more easily. So those are the 5 questions. And like I said, I have 10. If you want the full list of 10 questions and the answers, click on the link in the description or pinned in the comments, and I will send it to you. Once you share your email, I will send it to you. And if you find that you don't want to continue receiving emails from me, you can easily unsubscribe. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, I would be honored if you would reserve a free phone consultation with me, because I've given you the answers to the questions, okay? Because I've been doing this for 22 years, and I want to be able to help you earn your 501c3 status. And some people feel like with the way things are going with federal grant funding being eliminated in a lot of situations, that nonprofits are not needed. Nonprofits are needed more, because let me explain why. If you are a grassroots nonprofit organization that depended upon the county government for grant funding, and then the county government didn't get grant funding from the federal government, that's a ripple effect that negatively impacts your grassroots organization. If you had a food pantry service and you relied on the county to give you money to buy canned goods or travel to take canned goods to different places, whatever you needed the money for, that money is gone. Therefore, you have a group of people who are not receiving the canned goods that they are normally used to receiving. That's an opening or a gap that needs to be closed. So niche focused nonprofit organizations are desperately needed now to focus on helping certain groups of people with specific issues that they have. If your grassroots nonprofit organization used to take seniors to doctor's appointments and that funding has been cut out, another organization can come along and do niche focused transportation services, taking seniors to dialysis, taking seniors to cardiology appointments, taking seniors to different types of locations that are specific and focused on those seniors. So don't be discouraged by the funding cuts, because all federal funding has not been cut. And if I can be frank with you, some federal funding needed to be cut, because being in this nonprofit sector and working in this nonprofit sector for so many years, I've seen financial abuse by many nonprofit organizations. So they needed their funding to be cut or cut back. Again, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions, the older smart lady. How did I get that name right? I was talking to a young man on the phone, and he told me that he had been searching for someone to complete his Form 1023 application for him. And he had been searching through YouTube and Google and everywhere trying to find the right person. He came across my videos, and he said he liked the way that I explained different topics, and I seemed to be approachable and I seemed to really care. And so he decided to call the older smart lady. And he thought that was the greatest compliment. I mean, he just really thought that was so complimentary, and it is. But it just startled me to hear the word older. Ugh, it startled me, but it's a reality. I am older. And I think it was a compliment for him to say he thought I was smart. So I just take it in jest and say thank you. I thank you for your time today. Again, click on the link to either reserve a phone consultation with me. It's free of charge until August the 15th. After that, it's $25 an hour. Or click on the link to get the other 5 questions and answers, a total of 10 questions and answers that you should be prepared to ask potential nonprofit consultants, because there are a lot of fake people out here. There are a lot of AI, a lot of people who rely upon AI and chat GPT to do the work for them. But by asking them these questions, you can expose them. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.